week. We're kind of coming to the end of the year. Thank you, Sheena. And if anyone has anything, well, let's just jump into leads, needs, and good deeds. Does anybody have anything on the line? Anything they need to talk about? I have one thing, but I'll go last.
I got a potential deal. It's basically an unperforming note that a guy wants to sell. If anybody wants to take a look at it, it seems like an interesting deal. It's a note for the Manoa Pacific, one of the high-rise condos, ARV around 950, notes 730, and they basically just need to complete the foreclosure process with the HOA, which basically, so HOA is like the new owner, so we just need to negotiate with the HOA or whatever. But I mean, just something that might be of interest, or something looks like there's some spread. I'm not super experienced in this, but I mean, if anybody has any experience or wants to jump on or try and figure this out, let me know.
Perfect. You said this is in Manoa?
No, I mean, not the, what's that? Is the building with Inspiration by Ala Moana? Was it the, can't remember the name.
Oh, the Moana Pacific?
Yeah, Moana Pacific, yeah.
Okay, Layla just said that lives in that area. Okay, and it's a non-performing note, yeah?
Well, it's a non-performing note. So the HOA foreclosed on the owner in 2010, and they've just been renting it out. So they basically, you just need, but then the bank has a first position lien, so it's a REO. But then, so the bank just needs to quote unquote foreclose on the HOA, or basically negotiate the HOA to take the asset back. It's in the middle of a foreclosure process. There's an attorney, like whatever the bank's thing. And so you just have to see it through to the end, according to the guy who I'm talking to, and then like finish the deal to whatever, just sell it. And so probably no rehab because there's already a tenant in place. They've been renting it out. It just, I know I talked to you, Corey, and you guys won't lend on the 730 purchase of the note. So then it's also figuring out another way to creatively come up with the funds, etc. But it just seems like, and I'm not super familiar with the whole foreclosure process in general. So then that's just something like a little something. If anybody wants to try and tackle this or try and figure this out, let me know.
Okay, perfect. And actually, we might know a guy, like we might know someone. And Alex, Mr. Alexander, that's I think you think Ben would be interested in that? Maybe it's a non-performing note, so it's kind of hairy. The deal's kind of hairy.
Sure.
Maybe Naveed.
Possibly. Yeah, Daniel, we'll talk after.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Anything, you brother. Anything.
Yeah.
The hat, bro. You got the. I mean, you got the no holds barred fashion, bro.
Yeah. That's how he lives.
Yeah, I break all. No limits, baby. No limits.
Living your life, bro.
YOLO every day.
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed to have amazing people like you in my life that allow me to travel and create more relationships to help us all, thrive together. That's what it's about, man. We want to be the rising tide, not the captain of one ship. Rising tide.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why like this deal's a little is like out of my league, but I feel like somebody in this thing is gonna have like connection and I'll be able to figure it out. So. Sorry guys, it's a little loud. I'm at the airport. This is my office today.
But the principal of Sunset Equity, Ben, he has bought over 650 homes from the auction, and he's foreclosed on well more than 150 homes too. So that's how the house he lives in is in Beverly Hills. He bought the non-performing note. The house is at $14 million now. He got it for $2.5 million. So he loves buying seconds, and then he forecloses, and then he buys out the first. So if there's money to be made and he can partner with you, I'm sure he's more than willing to do it.
Cool. Thank you, sir.
Perfect.
You're welcome. And he loves me, so he'll take my
That's the secret.
Thanks, does anybody else have anything?
Yeah, I have a need. We're buying a property, low entry-level property on Big Island in Pahoa, on the Hilo side. So if anybody has any contractors they might want to refer to us, or tradesmen, I mean, it's not a heavy rehab, but it's definitely gonna need some work. And I don't live on that island, and you know, I do have some referrals, but if anybody knows anybody over there, that'd be great.
I think we know somebody real good.
Yeah, we have a few guys, or yeah, yep, we can get you that, Alex. Let me make note of that. And if there's anybody on here in Big Island, yeah, please reach out to Alex.
Yeah, we're supposed to close at the end of the month, like 28, 29. So it's not like, you know, crazy hurry, but like, you know, definitely something by the end of the month. And I'm going to fly over there, check it all out towards then and beginning of December to just, you know, put my eyes on it and all that good stuff. But we're buying it for 180 and, you know, needs probably about 50, 60 grand, but we also might wholesale it. I mean, it seems like we might be able to just slap it right back on the market. So we'll see. But still want to know people because we do get some opportunities over there sometimes. And, you know, yeah.
Yep. Perfect. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, we'll reach out to you. Let me make some calls. All right. Our boy Aiden has a need, and he has a potential off-market deal that's come in that he's negotiating, but we need help with comps in Maui. Does anybody would anybody know someone or is able to possibly help Aiden pull some values?
I have MLS access. We can run comps for him. Just give me the, you know, obviously full trust. Give us the address, but I mean, we won't take it or nothing. Like, we can give you comps. Alex Ibarra, Alex Ibarra, my acquisitions director. Maui can do that, no problem.
Yeah, and actually it'll be good for you, Aiden, to maybe run it past Alex too, because he's been getting familiar with the market out there. And actually, yeah, he's been. Are you still living out there, bro, or no?
Maui?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. That's my primary. You know, the property that we bought in Maui Meadows in South Maui, like, I'm just getting finishing up on the rehab. We're keeping it. We're gonna burr it. And so yeah, I live full time. It's just I come down here in Mexico because all the other like auxiliary stuff. So I just kind of bounce back between Maui and Mexico.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Yeah, thanks, Alex. Appreciate it.
Definitely, thank you. Yeah, I think I've spoken to Alex Ibarra on Instagram before too, so I'll reach out to him.
Yeah, you got it. He'll take care of you.
I appreciate it.
Just remind him that we talked on Coffee Talk or something, just so that he knows. Like, he might. I don't think he had time to join. He was at an appointment right now, but he can just tell him, hey, I talked to Alex Camacho. Sounds like you guys, you know, have some, you know, comping abilities. Can you help me out here on the deal? Just so he knows.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Does anybody else have anything? Leads, needs, good deeds to share?
I'm gonna hop back on here too then. If you guys know Keiko, we're trying to expand. We're trying to get more clients. We have a lot of capital to place, and starting this quarter, moving into next year, we're really trying to scale. So that being said, if you guys know anyone who may be in need of financing or maybe in need of better financing, we are really confident in our products. And I would, if you guys have anyone that you want to refer to us, we can work out something with referrals as well. But I'm gonna drop my info in the chat, and reach out to me. I know you guys all have your own network, so I'd love to work with whoever you guys have, take care of them, get them funded too. So
right on. Thanks, Aiden. And also, if you guys can help us maybe brainstorm some ideas. The world has changed kind of dramatically, right, since COVID. So we're trying to find the best ways to find people like ourselves. Like, where are we all hanging out right now, right? Real estate investors. So that guys like Aiden can go and help approach them and see if we can, you know, serve them like we do many of us on the call. So we were thinking, you know, social media is big now, right? There's Facebook groups, there's bigger pockets and stuff. But if anybody has any creative ideas of like, where do you think all the other real estate investors are kind of hiding right now? Or where do we do most of our networking? I think a lot of it is on Zoom nowadays, right? But if anybody has any ideas, like I know Daniel and Keone, you guys are in some masterminds, right? Alex, where do where are you guys finding a lot of the investors networking and, you know, in a public forum where it's appropriate for our guys like Danny and Aiden to go out there and hunt for business and try to see if we can earn some business?
Well, Camacho, your dude has a mastermind coming up in January, right? I feel like that would be a perfect opportunity to just jump in and listen and meet some people. If they're all flippers, right? The future flipper stuff. I mean, and then in ours, we have, I think like there's some public forums. Pace Morby has a creative financing with Pace Morby. I think there's always investors in that space. And so
They have like public forums and stuff.
yeah, there's a public
Obviously-
forum, and also for Indie too, there's like a pretty like good Facebook group that has like all the investors are like in that spot, and they share like contractors and et cetera and stuff, and like it's all pretty much all the serious out-of-state investors in India are like in this one Facebook group too. So I mean, probably different cities probably has something similar to that, where out-of-state investors or even in-state investors congregate in like one specific like couple groups or something where all the other guys are too. I mean, just a thought.
Yep.
Yeah, I would second that, you know, with just letting, you know, just being very active on the Facebook groups. I created my own Facebook group. You guys are kind of welcome to join that. Now, I mean, in less than a year now, we have about 500 people in there. You know, they're from all over the country, mostly Southern California, and Hawaii. But you know, definitely, I don't mind you guys, you know, kind of you know, posting in there and whatnot. But yeah, I think you guys need to be very active on the Facebook groups. And then the masterminds that I've, you know, paid for, they've all paid huge dividends. You know, right, I wouldn't even be living in Hawaii if I hadn't gone to the original Maui mastermind. And I paid $5,000 for that mastermind plus airfare. I mean, it was $7,000. Yeah, that's a big nut. But I mean, I've gotten 1,000x return on my money. I swear on
Right.
that, right? And then I went to the other one after that, which was another $5,000. Which, you know, but that's, I mean, what are you paying to be in front of these rooms of people that are doing volume? Like, I mean, you know, getting an investor that's going to toss you a deal every quarter or whatever, once, twice a year, that's great. But what you're really looking for is someone that you could grow your business with, right? And do a lot more deals with in the future. So that those relationships take some time to develop and nurture. But you got to be in those rooms with those people, and you know, these masterminds like that. The Ryan Pineda thing, I paid $15,000 for the annual, you know, coaching with that, but it's helped my business tremendously. It's been a huge ROI. And then now, like, I'm kind of I guess you would say, a senior student within the program. And that program, you know, I think now it's 20 grand. But I mean, he has, I think, 400 people in the rookie program, and then he has 150 to 175 people in the all-star program. The rookie program is only $5,000. But like, again, these are just investments. And since you're running a profitable business, Corey, then I would imagine that, you know, these are investments maybe you should consider if you want your team to be around people that are doing a lot of business, man, to get you more business. So
That's actually a great, I'm glad you said that. And actually that was Alexander's idea too, was because, well, plus he wanted to kind of, you know, it's always great to be around other like-minded people, right? So yeah, maybe we gotta dive in a little deeper on that, Alex. So thanks, bro.
And how many hard money lenders and private money lenders and all that are actually paying to be around in those? Most of those people paying for those, you know, things are investors that just want to be, you know, to know more about the investment, learn more stuff. But how many actual lenders are paying to be part of those groups? I don't think very many.
That's a great point. That's a great point. And plus it'll help, you know, our guys, it'll help everybody, because you learn, right? If you understand, I mean, that's why I was very confident when we started the company that we would be successful, is because we understood what, you know, the client needs, because we are clients, right? We have millions of dollars in hard money too. And that's why we sat, like, after we kind of earned our place with our capital partners, they, you know, wanted to have a meeting to talk about, you know, what do we need? You know, what do our clients need? And it was an easy answer because we're clients too, we're borrowers too, right? So first thing I say is, okay, if we can get to 90% of the purchase and 100% of the renovation budget, that's great. You know, we have to be competitive on the pricing, but the leverage is where you know, I feel I would have needed, because we're in expensive markets, right? So for us, it's like, if you can wrap payments, you know, wrap the interest payments, done. If we can pay in advance, that's great. And so we were able to craft our product around the needs, I feel, that investors, really need out there to make a difference. So that's a great point, because like Aiden, when you go to like some of these masterminds and trainings and stuff, it's not just the networking too, it's also your learning, right? We're learning that side, because Aiden's wholesaling as well. Danny just came back from Indianapolis because he was looking at properties to buy out there. So our guys are not just gonna be loan officers forever. You know what I mean? Like, so we're gonna.
Yeah, and I have one last thing to say about this, Corey, too, because I mean, just organic, right? We're just thinking about how to help each other out. And if they're in the program or something like that, and they're learning a lot of high level stuff, then they could teach that stuff to their clients, and therefore even be more of a value add for them to earn that business.
Yeah, I agree. Oh my gosh, that's a great point. Thanks, bro. Because yeah, like also like we've turned loans down because it's just not a good deal, or we feel that the client's not ready for a deal like that, so yeah, that's a good point. Maybe I'll reach out to you guys again and give you a call, Alex, to see which programs you guys recommend, like Ryan Panetta's, right, and Brandon guys's. So I know it's expensive, but hey, you got to pay to play sometimes, So
yeah, and the program too, I'm not trying to sell or anything like that, but the what was great about it is that it helped me bring on Will. I don't know if he's on or not, but my right-hand man, my integrator, COO, it helped me to get more trained up, and we would go. The mastermind was included every quarter inside the the annual fee. So we would go together and we both like take different gold nuggets and connect with different people there. And so I found that to be super valuable in our business, because he's learning alongside me, and we're both learning things that are complementing what we're doing at our role in the company. And that's just been super valuable and helped our learning curve to speed up tremendously. So I just, and I didn't do that on purpose, but then it was like, okay, you could bring a partner on with no extra money. Well, yeah, then I just bring in my right-hand man. And so like you could go in, and if you can't make it, then you bring in Alexander. If Alexander can't make it, then, I think there would be some potential benefit there if on such a program. I'm not saying that specific one, but certain programs, they allow you to bring like a partner as well. And then both of you are learning if one of you can't make it or whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great idea. Thanks, bro. Mitch.
Corey, we get to be partners.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Cool. Let me unmute here. Yeah, actually, I had a couple ideas. Yeah, and the way I found Aiden, connected with you guys was through Aiden saw one of my posts on Bigger Pockets. That I mean, if you guys were to notify the list your events, even this coffee talk right here, which I think is a great way to get in and bring investors to you. But you did some additional just postings on both Bigger Pockets. And I don't know if you guys use Connected Investors. Some of those other sites. I think that'd be a good opportunity for you guys. To increase your pool of potential investors. Yeah. Another idea. Another idea. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, how do you like Connected Investors? I think I have a profile on there, but I never really looked into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not nearly as detailed and thorough and sophisticated as Bigger Pockets, and I haven't had a whole lot of success. I just created a profile, but yeah, I haven't made very many connections through there. Mm-hmm. But another idea, and I don't know how comfortable Danny or Aiden would be doing this, but trying to pull investors from other arenas, whether it be people that are into stocks, precious metals, other investment areas where people are parking their money, to try and shed some light on the potential profits and the returns, for investing in real estate.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mitch.
Yeah, just an idea.
This is getting great ideas. Like, I'm getting huge value out of this. Keone, how was Cody Sperber's program?
It was cool, man. I was in from the beginning, right? So like I was kind of early on in. As far as the direct mail marketing, teaching you like that type of level, I think there's so many programs out there that are like high level now. And mind you, this was like 5 years ago. So like I'm still involved in the community, not as much. But when I joined in, it was basically an aha moment for me. So if you know nothing about like direct mailing and like putting systems together, it helped me there. As I join in, like one of my goals every year is to join education programs, right? Like that's what we do. We elevate ourselves, always try to get better. And I feel that people have caught up or even actually surpassed. There's just so much that they're offering now. I really like his one because of a lot of programs you do. I don't know if it's a lifetime thing, but his one is like the modules and everything, even though it's getting updated when you paid from the beginning, I'm still there. Mind you, 5 years, I still have modules that I go back to always refer back. Same like now, like programs only last for so long, right? And then all of a sudden it goes away. Are you able to keep that? Like the ones that we're in now, like, you know, like there's several of us in the sub-2 community. That's a lifetime membership. I'm not trying to pitch it, but it's like, I like those programs because there's so much information coming at you in these programs. You just take and you focus on something, then you go forward, then you go, I think I remember something, but when you try to go back, oh my God, it expired already. So I can't even go back unless you're downloading all of this somewhere and holding it on your end. I like the fact that when you sign up for programs, just try and check on that membership. Yeah. How long do I have? Because a lot of times it's like good for maybe 1 year, let's say. All of a sudden, you didn't capture everything, but that's why it's nice to have those modules to always refer back to. So I guess that's my biggest thing. I mean, like when you asked me about servers one, it's been so long, it was beneficial for me. I learned a lot. I mean, that's where I attacked direct mail. As far as being a wholesaler, I learned how to co-wholesale. That's why when I was in Hawaii, I had no idea about that, but I was able to co-wholesale with other people outside, you know, of Hawaii, because at that time the numbers made sense for me. I wasn't in the flipping game. I was more in the wholesaling. It's a little more, not as easy as the wholesaling side here in Hawaii. So like to do constant deals on the monthly, that's what I was doing, building these relationships. At the end of the day, that's what all of these masterminds and mentorships programs, it's the lasting relationships. And it's just up to you to basically nurture those relationships continuously, right? A lot of people fly out to wherever, Arizona or wherever, Vegas, and then all of a sudden you come back and you just don't do anything and you don't even reach out to those people. You just kind of lost, you know, your relationship. That's the key. All those deals happen outside of the programs. That's the fundamentals that you learn, but it's like the relationships that we build outside of it, right? And continuing to basically nurture and like adding value in that way. I think that's what you were asking about those forums. I think that's the way I would actually present myself. Daniel brought up, you know, like the creative one that we were talking about as far as Pace's one. Even Alex, you know, like even his page, I would actually say like any forum that you're joining, make sure that you're not just spamming it with your information. Yep. You know, separate yourself and know how I can add value. Bring a deal. If you're from the loan officer side, then bring like new programs. Like this is a niche. If you want to learn more, contact me. And kind of go that way instead of just like thinking like, hey, I want this and I want that. Then, you know, you're kind of like everybody else. You know, at the end of the day, yes, we want information, but maybe change that light and just flip the script and just basically lead with that value. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. That's always the best way in networking, is looking to give first, right? Like, give value first. Like I don't like the people who just spam those Facebook groups. You know, a lot of them it's just spam, and it's unfortunate. But man, that's such great ideas. Hopefully, you know, we're all taking notes. I took notes on a bunch of stuff just now. So
Corey,
hey, Kamal, hi.
What's up, guys? So I have like on a much smaller scale, but something that has popped into my head, and we are kind of implementing it now. We're doing a meetup monthly. We had our first one yesterday. It's called Deals in Aloha. Ooh. And we had it at one of our projects. We literally had 50 people there.
Wow. Okay.
And a lot of them have done like a deal. They're looking for more deals. But my idea would be like, have Aiden or somebody come out to the next one, and then maybe we can just have like a little presentation on hard money and offer your services to them. Dude, it was crazy because a ton of these people aren't on Coffee Talk, but they're here locally looking to do deals. So let's touch base on that. We're going to do them every single month. They're not just going to be at our projects either, where we really want to feature the Hawaii investors. So I think next month we're doing it at one of Daniel's projects. But let's talk story offline. Try and set something up.
That'll be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was actually planning, I wanted to go out to that one, but I just started a drill. I'm in the military, so I was really sad I wasn't able to get out there, but I'm gonna be there next time for sure.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
We'll do one. We'll do one in my house in Maui as well.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I like that idea. Hey guys, real quick, to all the veterans that are on the call, thank you. If we didn't get to talk to you yesterday, we do appreciate your guys' service, truly. Especially, I think everything Keiko Capital is about is we're all about family. Look, it's people over profits, and that's one thing that we're always going to keep going. So I do want to talk to you guys because look, guys, one thing we're already, I think we do have the best products for fix and flip in the business right now. Especially if you have 5 deals or more, doing 90% of purchase, 100% of rehab, financing 9% or 9 months of your interest reserve, and fronting you 20 to 25% of your rehab 4 days after closing. Like, you're not getting reimbursed, you know, like we're really bringing the heat, and our rates, we can compete with anybody that's around. And the thing is like, you know, sometimes you pay more to work with the people that you really have a relationship with and trust, that you know are going to get shit done. And I'll just give you guys an example. No names needed, but one of our clients is working with another lender, coming down to the closing table, and they canceled because they had been waiting on what the HOA fees were. The lender cancels on him. He tells me who it is. I call the principal, I get on a call with him, and I say, hey man, like this isn't, like, we can't have this. Let's figure out how we can do the deal. So to this morning, I just sent him an updated LOI for him to be able to do the deal, because he said he was going to do it regardless of if he had to go out and raise all the money or if he got to close it with his capital partner. So like, we all want to help each other win. And if any of you guys do experience that with another capital partner and you're not working with us, I'm available. Call me. I literally have a relationship probably with every single principal to any lender that you guys are working with that's not us. And I will help you on any of your deals. So look, it's about putting you guys first. That's the type of guys we are. And then at the same time, I ask in return, give us a shot to run your numbers on any of your deals. You know, and that's it. You know, give us a shot. And if you guys ever need anything from me with any principals, or you're having issues with any lender, service company, let us know, and we'll do everything we can to help you.
Yeah, and honestly, like I guess we don't talk about it enough, maybe. But it really is true. Like, we're so fortunate to have a seat at the table with the executives of some of the largest hard money, private equity, private lending companies out there. Some of them are massive, you know, they could buy and sell our company like 100 times over, you know, and still have money to tithe. Like they're massive, you know. And but with that said, we are even though we're a small company, we're very young. We can compete with the best of them, you know. And we've had a call with a few capital partners who some of them are just right on Wall Street, you know, big bankers, and they have access to a lot of capital at really low rates. And we'd have calls with them to see if there's an angle, you know, where we can work together. And we're talking about our capital sources, and like, honestly, there's no angle there. You know, we're already tapped out, you know, they can't even help us. Like, we can beat them, which is surprising. But that's what happens when you build relationships, you know. It's not necessarily working with the biggest, baddest company sometimes, because you get lost in the files, you know, you're just another number. But when you're like our capital partners, we have great relationships with them because they're kind of like us, you know. They're young, they're energetic, they're aggressive, they have the same moral values as us and integrity, and they took the time to want to have a sit down with us to talk about how do we craft a product out there that serves the investors the best we can, right? And that's the kind of partnerships you want to try to align yourselves with in any venture, but especially in real estate, because there's so many partners and other parties involved that we have to work with on a daily basis, right? So just making sure that everyone understands that it's not always about the biggest company, the biggest and baddest attorney. You got to use you know, who fits your company and what you're doing the best. That's the lesson I've learned. So thank you guys so much for those suggestions. Like, we got a lot out of that, and we're gonna make some moves. So thank you again. And if you guys have any suggestions, or any I guess training courses anywhere, it doesn't have to be just in Hawaii, but that you guys recommend, like Pace Morby's mastermind, right? Ryan Pineda's, anything like that. Can you please drop it in the chat? Anything that you guys vouch for, that's not just a company that's kind of out there for just to sell the dream, you know? We like the intimate ones, the ones that kind of get shit done actually, and people actually learn, you know? So that'd be great if you guys can put that in. Thank you, Blaze.
You know, Corey, you know what is a good point to just put out there, that with all of these training programs is like, you know, at the end of the day, it is what you put into it, right? You know what I mean? So you can spend all the money, but a lot of people, like, if you get bad reviews, is like, what did you truly go all in, right? Like, don't just basically follow the crowd, right? It's like, I see everybody in that program, I want to be a part of that, but then you're just doing it just because I'm following the crowd. You still got to put in the work. You know what I mean? That's the only way these programs work. So there's amazing programs. Everyone that you just named, I feel it's all legitimate, but then people might have different results because you're the determining factor in how it's going to come about, right? Like, at the end of the day, the programs is there. Every program that you go into is teaching you almost the same thing, maybe different ninja tips. Other than that, it's like what you are going to do about it. You're going to rise to the occasion. You know what I'm saying? Different programs. Everybody's like, how much cost? It's a money thing. It's this and that. I see a bunch of people in this program. I saw them posting this. I mean, it's just like FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. I want to jump into something. I don't know what. So we can consult you all you want. I would just definitely say, what is your why? What is your goal? You know, like, where are you at? Ask yourself all these questions, and then consult with the people that you're planning on making these changes. Like, I'm thinking of this program, talk to the people locally, right, that who's in these programs, even if they are, and then talk to them directly. At the end of the day, you're the boss, so you can interview them, like, why should I go to your program? Don't think that, like, I need to be in there, whatnot. So these are just the things, because I get asked this a lot of the times too, and at the end of the day, it's what you put into the program that's going to determine the results. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And like, we've ever since I started, man, it's been 10 years already, but I've been to so many conferences and training programs and stuff. And it's so true that no matter how good it is, right? Like, I took Dave Lindahl's multifamily course in 2018, I think, or 2017. And I thought it was great. It was so good, you know, but when you look up at Google and stuff, like, you'll have those same reviews. Oh, this is just a ripoff and this and that. Those are the guys that can't take ownership of their lives. Do you know what I mean? And then they're career victims. They have the victim mentality, you know, so that if they can't, if things don't happen for them, you know, then it's everyone else's fault, right? So, and I don't think we have a single person on this call that has that attitude, that would take the time to create a Yelp account or whatever, or a rip-off report account, put in all their information for that, take the time to write, you know, something like, I mean, honestly, sometimes it's legit, right? Sometimes that needs to happen to protect, you know, consumers, but for the most part, you'll get the people who are upset because maybe they didn't have what it takes to execute, you know, and really take charge of their lives, and then they point the finger. So yeah, any training is really up to you to make the best out of it, right? So
I mean, honestly,
you know what?
Go ahead.
I cannot agree more. I mean, when I first started, I got this wholesaling course. I paid 16 grand, a 16-week course. I got a couple deals from it, but it was I definitely did not put in as much execution and implementation. I mean, I got my ROI, and then every course and then mastermind and all that good stuff afterward, I just found so much more value from just putting in more work to it and like implementing the stuff that you learn. Because if you don't, then it's just like, don't blame it on the course, don't blame it on the information, blame it on the fact that you just didn't execute and you didn't implement what it's set to do. Because there's a reason that there's a course. So I can't agree. I definitely agree 1,000% on what you guys are talking about here for sure.
Yeah. And did you take the time to go write a bad review on that first one?
No, not at all. Because I mean, later on in hindsight, I was just like, yo, like it was my fault. I didn't execute enough. And it took me a little bit to figure that out. But I mean, I was kind of grumbling a little bit. I wasn't, I'm not getting enough value from it, but I had a weak team. I was a weak leader, and my execution and implementation was weak. That's basically why I didn't get the best ROI on that program. It wasn't because it was a bad program. So
yeah. 100%. So
it's like saying that you're getting a new tool, right? We talk about ROI, like REIs as far as having all these tools on your tool belt, but it's like, are you really using the tool, right? It's like, literally, if you went to Home Depot and bought you an actual new drill gun, but it sit on the shelf, what good is that drill gun on the shelf? You never used it. So same thing, right? We're like taking in all these courses and modules and whatnot, but you're never, like Alex just said, you're not implementing. So that's why I said, if you can truly be honest with yourself, and you just got to take action. I feel every program you can get something out of it, but you got to put in the work, man.
Yep. And no doubt some are better than others, right? And some have better culture than others and better people, more help, more support. But at the end of the day, it's all the same, right? It comes down to you and what you're going to make of it. And I think it's a great discussion because there's so much to pick apart in this, because like the training, I guess, business, the education business is massive. It's massive. A lot of those companies make more training than actually their real estate holdings, so let's just keep that in mind. And some of them really, like the guy on stage, like they might invest in real estate here and there, but they're salesmen, and they're good. They're really good. It's a formula, and they pick to your emotions, right? To the people that they want. It's a whole roadmap. And then they tell you go to the back of the room, limited time. So
yeah. One of the things that I used to do before the pandemic, obviously it's been 2 years now, but like all of those training programs, and there's about 4, at least 5 maybe, that come to Hawaii on the regular. Even though I've either attended or whatnot, I go every year. I know I'm not going to buy into it, but I go there for the networking aspect. I'm literally attending it for those 3 days, or even the 1 day that they're here at the Four Seasons, at the Aulani, or in Waikiki. I know that that's one of my things to network, and I will go there to talk to people because I know what they're there for. They don't want to buy into the program because of the money thing. Let's just have a conversation. How can I help? You're local. I'm here. Let's talk story. It's free. Let's talk about it. So that's what I use those education programs for.
Dude, I love that. I love that. I do the exact same thing. And dude, like I go to those things just because it pumps me up. I'm like, the things like you said, Corey, are so good. I'm like, after the 3 days, I'm like, let's go do this. Like I just like it's a few. it's like our candy. Like we just like learn about real estate, and like it's such a great presentation. And I'm like, after I'm like, let's go. So it's I love those 3 like seminar things.
At least you might get inspiration to get you out of any funk you might be in, or just to remind you of the fundamentals. Maybe like there's so much there is value, and they got to be really bad for it to be a ripoff. You know what I mean? Like the content's there, so you're kind of just regurgitating in your own way, So, but that's a great point, and it's also timing. I feel like that, like Dave Lindahl's course was amazing. I learned so much about syndications. I met so many great people out there. It was in Boston because he's from Boston, and it was great. To this day, it's created a foundation for me in the multifamily and commercial realm, where at least I can have high level conversations with clients and people, right? So, but it also wasn't good timing in that time my career and my ventures, right? But it was still, I could still see the value in it. So the training industry, I feel, is necessary, because some of us would not be here if it wasn't for that industry, right? If it wasn't for hearing the radio ad saying, learn how to flip houses with no money in, and make 6 figures a deal or a year, right? It's kind of cringy, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's true. Like we do deals without any of our own money, right? So at the very least, if it sparked your interest enough that you chase that path, and you're here today because of that, I think that's probably the most value you might have gotten so far in your career. It was mine. Reading Rich Dad Poor Dad was a game changer for me, changed my life, because it made me step out of my comfort zone, go to the local meetups where I met my first mentors, worked for them, and just kept chugging along my own path, right? But if it wasn't for reading that book, or for some people, if it wasn't for going to that free, seminar, then perhaps you wouldn't be here today, right? I bet you there's at least a handful of us on this call that can attribute, there's Roderick, there's Aiden, attribute the training industry and their marketing efforts and their ability to sell. They could attribute a lot of that to the reason why they're here and on their journey in this crazy game. So all right, man, that was a great session to kind of for me personally. I got a lot out of that. Thank you so much, guys. Quick question, does anybody have any meetups coming up that they want to put out there? Doesn't have to just be in Hawaii, it could be anywhere, virtual or local. Alex, you have one, right? Alex Camacho.
Repeat that.
When is your meetup in Maui?
No, I don't have a meetup yet. I'm gonna be doing like my own mastermind. One of the things with that property, since we're not able to do a formal short-term rental, and we're also not, I'm not really interested in keeping the property and not doing and not cashing out. Essentially, I'm just gonna be able to live on the property and then host meetups, whenever I want, because it's a 2-unit. It's like, has an ohana. I'm gonna live in the ohana downstairs, and then upstairs it's gonna be more of like retreats. So I'm gonna have like a mastermind retreat in January there. I don't know the exact dates yet, but it'll probably be like either the first couple of weeks or the later part of the month, and it'll probably be about 10 people. It won't be that much, I'm gonna teach some stuff. I'm gonna probably have a guest speaker or two, and just more of the connections that I've seen happen with these masterminds. And then we want to bring in some revenue, so that way the property's not negative in cash flow. But it's, we're not trying to like, just make a ton of money, because it's gone up so much in value. I mean, we already have like, $600,000-$700,000 of equity in the property just in 5-6 months. So we're just gonna burn it. Yeah, it was a good deal.
Nice, awesome, bro. Love it.
So
love it.
I'll definitely announce it on Zoom on here on Coffee Talk, once we'll have it kind of really put together in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, please, yeah. Thanks, dude. Greg is saying, Greg, you got something coming up on the 28th?
Yeah, Duke and the multifamily guys. It's the second time we're planning on doing it like every 3 months or so at my house, just because it's kind of conducive to COVID protocol.
Gotcha.
I got an outdoor area. We tentatively have it limited to 20 people, but I'm not going to be too stringent on that. But it's everybody is booking through him. But you can call me. I mean, and put you on if you want. So
awesome. Yeah.
The
Thank you, Greg.
It's a Sunday after Thanksgiving from 5 to 8. It'll be, I don't know, I always cook stuff, and just kind of a potluck free for all kind of thing. Last time we had Mike McCormick. I don't know if you know Mike. Back 30 years ago, he was probably the best known realtor in the state. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. Had him come and speak. I know all the old guys, so.
He's with Coldwell, yeah? He was with.
He's at Engels Volker now.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to get him again, because he's real secretive. He's working on a 700 unit project in Kakako. I'm kind of trying to find out what
Yeah.
it's all about. And that's kind of I was in the development world a little bit like 30 years ago. I'm just kind of getting back into stuff now. So Daniel's been a big help to me. So just trying to get back into, what's going on. I don't know much, but it's fun, exciting. So.
Yeah. Well, right on. Thanks, Greg. Thanks for the invite, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, please come.
You're doing a great job, Greg. Like you've definitely see you like making some moves. So yeah, keep it up, bro.
Yeah, I'm working with Joel now, and that's starting to get some things going with that. So that's kind of neat too. So yeah,
Awesome.
kind of testing the waters.
That's great. Yeah. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, everybody. We have a question in the chat about books, which is kind of what we were talking about. We wanted to go over is I know Keone's goal is to read one a month, right? So because I'm looking for a few more too. Does anybody have any good recommendations? Craig says Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. I never read that one, but I've seen some of David Goggins' podcasts, and it's you want to run through a wall after listening to that guy.
Yeah, it's definitely a good book.
Awesome. Yeah. So, okay, that one's got to make the list. Ooh, Rocket Fuel. Yup, that was great. Thank you, Tay. Never Split the Difference.
Go Giver all day, every day for me. That's the best for me.
Go Giver, 100%. That's
especially if you're not a big read, like you want to read, but then all of a sudden you get intimidated by the size of the book. You're like, oh, there's a lot of pages. Go Giver is a short, sweet book, power packed. Another sweet one is basically Who Moved My Cheese. Super easy to read. A lot of people want to read, but when they see those thick books, they're like, that's too much. So like Go Giver, Who Moved My Cheese are amazing books. I agree with Tay. What is that? What she just said, as far as Never Split the Difference and the Profit First. Rocket Fuel is another amazing one. Yeah.
Yep. What are you reading now, Keone?
After I got Cracks from Taxes, I'm getting consulted by taxes, but I'm also reading Tax Free Wealth. So it's actually if you can see that, but it's Tom Wheeler.
Yep.
So it's Tax Free Wealth from Tom Wheelwright. That's what I'm reading literally right now.
Okay.
I'm just trying to learn about a lot of things like that strategy. So yeah, it's not a fun book, fun for me, but when you put that out there, they're like, that's not a fun, that's not a sexy topic.
Nobody wants to, yeah, exactly.
For us in this year. But when you say that you're reading Tax Free Wealth, they're like, what the hell is that, nerd?
Honestly, that book would probably net you the most return by the end of your career.
Right, exactly. So
right.
I'm just being honest, but yeah, that's what I'm reading right now.
All right. Man, we're getting some good ones in here.
Guys.
Yep.
Psycho Cybernetics, Dr. Matthew Maxwell Maltz. And then after you read that one, you do Theater of the Mind. That combo is life-changing. I'm telling you, Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, all those guys based their stuff off of Dr. Matthew Maxwell Maltz's content. So check it out.
Drop it in the chat, dude.
I will. Psycho Cybernetics is a
Camacho's
slow
got
one.
it.
Hey. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Camacho. Yeah. Now get Theater of the Mind. Theater of the Mind is the combo. Create your happy place.
Nice. Awesome. I love it. Yeah. My top, I think my top 3 or 4 is Rich Dad Poor Dad, obviously, Think and Grow Rich, Go Giver. Right now I'm reading I don't have it on me. Oh yeah. Lift Off. I'm such a Elon Musk fanboy and everybody teases me about it, but I don't care. So I'm reading his book Lift Off. So it's about SpaceX and their early days in the company and how they almost went bankrupt. They had to bootstrap a rocket company, right? So it's very inspiring and it reminds me of a lot of the day-to-day with our company and our dealings, and we're a young company still maturing. And there's a lot of important issues that could be catastrophic every now and then, right? So sometimes you need I think an inspirational read too. Are you, Keone, are you reading? Because I'm trying to follow you now. I'm trying to do the one book a month. But do you add in there like non-business books, or is it all business books?
For the most part, I think I only did one non-business book this year. And that was the Ikigai book. Other than that, it's a lot of personal development, not so much business maybe, but it's like just personal development stuff. Yeah, not really Harry Potter type of stuff.
Yeah. Harmony has said free to focus Michael Hyatt. Michael Hyatt's got some great stuff. I use their focus planner.
Great book. That's a good one.
So
Green Lights, Matthew McConaughey.
I just read that one. I just finished that, Alexander. Matthew McConaughey's Green Lights. Yeah, I got it right. Actually, I got it on my desk right here.
How's that one? Is good? Yep.
Yeah, I like that one.
Spiritual book, Conversations with God, will blow your mind.
Is it a business book?
No. Conversations with God is a spiritual book. But if you're looking to go there, that one's life-changing.
Nice. Harvey said Richest Man in Babylon. Yep. That's a good one too. Art of War. That's another one. Game changer.
I like The One Thing.
Ooh, yep. That's another one.
That's a good one.
Gary Keller. Yeah. Yeah, The One Thing. That one really kind of I felt like I was getting scoldings when I was reading that book. Like I was getting spanked a little bit. So yeah, sometimes you gotta stay lean, cut the fat. Theater of the Mind, Psycho Cybernetics, that's Alex. Okay.
Hey Corey, sorry, when it comes to reading, my attention span is pretty short. So I like to watch a lot of sports bios. So I can watch it over and over again. Like for example, Michael Jordan, when they would scrimmage, they would have the red team and the black team, and he would be on one team, and that team would be up by 20, and then he would switch jersey to be on the other team that's down by 20. And it's kind of makes sense of what we do when we're down and out. What are we going to do? And I just wanted to add, I read a lot of sports bios. Like Steph Curry made 77 3-pointers in a row at practice. And then one game, he shot the ball with his eyes closed to tie the game. And it was just amazing. That the point is that you can do anything if you just set your goals and strive what you guys are doing. And every time, I just want to thank you for letting me be on this call, because I'm just listening to all these young minds here, and you guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. And I agree too. I love like documentaries because I study greatness, because that's what I want one day, and I'll be chasing that to my grave, to be honest. So like, I think that's what we're here for, right? It's not really about the money. It's about making something of whatever this is that we're all a part of right now in a short amount of time. So I agree. Sometimes I love documentaries. That's why I love studying business models and, reading up what's Elon Musk doing and stuff, because it inspires me. Like, I think that it's greatness. I think Elon Musk will go down as probably the most important, human being that's ever graced this earth one day. He ain't dying. He's still alive, so.
Oh yeah, and Warren Buffett, the reason why he bought Coca-Cola, and they sell 1.98 ounces a day. And all he had to do is increase the price by 1 cent. Don't change the marketing, don't change anything, just increase it by 1 cent. How much money he brought in, just increasing by 1 cent. And he said, just these little things that you do, if you really analyze everything.
Yep. And Christine says, big money energy. I never heard of that one. Let me write that one down. E-Myth, 10X rule. Oh, E-Myth is good too. Dang, there's some good ones in here. Pitch anything, make your bed. All right, man, it's already 11, but We'll keep it rolling for a little while. But we can start wrapping up. Next week, guys, we'll have one of our guys who works with our kind of clientele that's doctor based, so it's gonna be great principles next week, and Kiko will be back. I told him to jump on for a second so we can all wish him a happy belated birthday, but he couldn't even make it on. So next week. But I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Happy Aloha Friday once again, and let's crush it. Thank you guys so much for the help and your suggestions.
Aloha. Let's get it.
Aloha from Alex Camacho, Mexico.
See you guys.
You guys.
Alex, I'll wear my Dodgers hat